and for this video, I'm going over something different. Not action figures this time, but rather video games. More specifically, characters I would like to see in a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Specifically, characters that we have yet to be in the game. So, have not made an appearance in any of the previous games. And yes, that also includes Infinite, even though we don't really talk about that one. So, without further ado, let's begin. Now, first up with Marvel, we have, well, this is kind of a cheat, the Fantastic Four. Basically, these characters are just way overdue to be in the game because they have Doctor Doom, they had the Super Skrull, and as a final boss fight in MVC 3, they had Galactus. You fight Galactus. So they had 3 of their arch enemies, and yet they're not in the game at all. So it's about time these 4 Marvel's first family join the roster of MVC. As for I'm not really going to go over the movesets much because I don't know what they could do. Probably like the thing throws a boulder or something at, and Human Torch's like hyper combo or something is like him going supernova. So anyway, it would be cool to have these characters in the game finally join the MVC. Next up from Capcom, we have Nero from Devil May Cry. Now, a lot of you know Nero from the last 2 games, Devil May Cry 4 and 5, where he is the son of Virgil, and basically he has like one of his arms looks demonic in the 4th game. On the 5th game, it's a robotic arm. So to have Nero join the roster would be pretty cool, and as you know, he has 2 different weapons. He has I think it was called his sword, the Red Rose, which basically he revs it up like a motorcycle to increase its damage, and his gun known as Blue Rose. So adding Nero would be a really good choice in my opinion. Next up for Marvel, we have Star-Lord, aka Peter Quill. So the reason I chose Star-Lord is because in MVC 3 they had Rocket Raccoon, and in Infinite they had Gamora along with Rocket. So I think it's about time we added the leader of the Guardians himself to the game. So basically with his jet boots and dual elemental blasters, having him join the roster would be really cool. You can get creative with his moveset since basically his blasters have elemental energy, so you can shoot like lightning and water and make tornadoes and stuff. So that would be really cool. Next up for Capcom is actually one that was suggested to me by my friend. It is Axel from the Mega Man X series. Now, apparently he is the third member from the X series. Like in the classic Mega Man, we had Mega Man, Bass, and Proto Man. In this, we have X, Zero, and Axel. Now, I don't know too much about Axel since I mostly know the first 2, X and Zero, but basically, I think he has a similar weapon to Zero, which is like a blade. But I need to look into it more. like I said, this was just a suggestion by my friend. So, and I thought it'd be nice to put it on the list for him. So, you're welcome. So it would be cool, and it would make him happy, I know. Next up for Marvel, we have Jubilee from the X-Men. Now, apparently when I was making this video, I saw that on the MVC1 cover poster for the game, it seemed like Jubilee was supposed to join the game as well, but she never was in it, and not even in the second any games to follow, especially the second game. So adding Jubilee would pretty much be a big, like, I guess you can say fan service for the case of adding her, since she was intended for the first game. So I think that would be cool. Next up for Capcom, we have Regina from Dino Crisis. So Dino Crisis is basically, think of it like Resident Evil, but instead of like zombies, it's dinosaurs. So basically Resident Evil meets Jurassic Park. So basically, this is a character I learned about from making this list and looking into Capcom characters that would be good for the game. And apparently I learned that Dino Crisis is one of Capcom's best game series. Well, best game, I don't think they made more after the first one. Actually, I think they did. There was up to 3, but basically to bring her into this game and heck, even bring back the Dino Crisis series would be really cool. So I think that would be a good idea. Next up for Marvel would be pretty much one that's been gaining a lot of popularity lately. Jeff the Land Shark. Yes, I know, this is like, I guess you can say, like a joke character on the Marvel side of things. But basically, thanks to the game Marvel Rivals, Jeff has been growing in popularity ever since, and even the latest game, Cosmic Invasion, you can find him in like a cameo, captured in like some kind of container. So basically, to bring him into the game would be really cool to see, and yeah, I would love to see what they would do for his movesets. So that would be cool. Next up for Capcom, we have Luke from Street Fighter. Now, Luke, I wasn't planning to add because I was trying to think of characters outside of Street Fighter, since they had a bunch of those. But I couldn't really find other characters that I thought would have been a good fit for the game, so I went with Luke, since he is pretty much he's pretty much the main character in the 6th installment of Street Fighter. So having him join, I guess, would be really cool, especially with his firearms that are his, what do you call these again? Basically his forearms are basically built like wrecking balls. So I think it would probably be a good idea to add Luke to the next MVC game. Finally, for Marvel, we have the Silver Surfer. Now, the reason I chose the Silver Surfer is because, well, since Galactus was the final boss fight in the 3rd game, I thought it was a good idea to add him to this one, since, well, him and Galactus are pretty much hand in hand. So it'd be cool to see this character be added, especially with his vast amounts of powers, especially if one of them is basically, especially since it'll be a unique one, since he's mostly on his like surfboard. So this would be a cool one to add. And finally, for Capcom, we have Asura from Asura's Wrath. Now, Asura's Wrath, I guess, can be considered one of those hidden gem kind of games, since there was only one in the series, and it has yet to be ported to modern systems, especially Steam. But Asura is known as one of the most powerful Capcom characters Capcom has made. For starters, like one of the first fights you have against this guy Wizen, who grew much bigger than the planet itself, and Asura basically destroyed him with a single punch. So, and he has done other feats such as kill God himself, or at least the god in his universe. So to add Asura to Marvel vs. Capcom 4 would be really, really cool, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would love that. And that's the video for characters, newcomers they can add for Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any characters you would like to see in MVC4, let me know in the comments. And until next time, see you all in the next video. Peace out. Bye.